How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Chillin' with Death, episode 10. Um, Here's what you can expect for this episode. Of course, we'll catch up with what we've been doing the last week, gaming news, and then look forward to the very end where we talk about game adaptations that we'd like to see from anything video game related, stuff like that. Got Deathface with me here as well. Real quick, I also wanted to mention that there have been a little bit of schedule changes, so we will after this episode start going ahead and uploading episodes Mondays and or latest Tuesdays. Go ahead and follow our Instagram to keep up to date with any updates that we give out on when an episode will be released. Other than that, though, like I said, we got Deathface here. How are you, man?
What up, man? I'm doing pretty good. Uh, had a This past week was I was officially off of training at my new job, so kind of going on my own, uh, trying to figure out, you know, a lot of things on my own. I mean, they give us a lot of tools to work with, so it's kind of just got to take my time and do research. But I feel like I got it down pretty good.
Nice.
Because customer service job is new to me. Well, this type of customer service,
Right.
on the computer and all that, but other than that, it's been a good week, man. I've been doing some gaming. Mainly been playing Stellar Blade. Finally getting back into that. Kind of do want to talk about it a little bit because I do have some things to say about it.
Go
Uh,
for it.
it's it's a very good game. I'm really enjoying it. The music is great. The combat, once you get used to it, is great. Uh, the I going in, I didn't expect the combat to kind of like evolve to where it is now. I did go through um, some story points where now I have these different abilities, and it's just I just thought that I was gonna get maybe a couple more abilities, like basic ones, but kind of just does change up the way you play um, after going through the story and unlocking those new abilities you can do. And so I thought that was really cool. It gives kind of shows you some like pretty good effects. Um, the some AOE abilities that I like to use as well. So I thought that was really cool. Another thing is, like I said, the music is great. Um, I like how you can change the music at your camps. At your camps, every time you unlock one, there's like a little option you can change it. Uh, the story, by going around and actually like reading, like kind of like the documents you pick up, like the collectibles, you can kind of see what's going on, and you can kind of like understand where it's gonna lead to. Obviously, if you've seen the trailers and you go into playing this game, you're gonna kind of put two and two together, which is, I mean that's cool. I'm just waiting for that to happen. Um, so other than that, I do want to say some things that I do not like about the game, because you know it does get kind of annoying at points, especially it being kind of uh, it's a they do throw some platforming in there. And my issue with it is it's very cool. Like, I very like the platforming puzzles
Mm-hmm.
when it does come on. Um, but the thing is like the control you have over your character is it's just really janky
Yeah.
at times. And literally have to die like 4 or 5 times before you can actually get one of those jumping puzzles right, because of just how unresponsive it gets, especially like when you're trying to double jump and you're trying to go to like a different platform, and you just completely miss without even like with without you obviously missing on it's just like you just fall off the side of the edge, and it's just like, what, dude? um
I figured that it probably wouldn't be good. I didn't even know that it would have platforming, honestly, because I know when I played the demo, I felt, yeah, like it was clunky, heavy feeling. So I didn't even know they had platforming, so that sucks. I can imagine, because I mean, I already knew how it felt.
yeah, another thing is that some of the enemies, I'm just over them. Like, just the basic enemies. Some of them are cool. They're you can take them down with a couple hits, but some of them are just like just stupidly, like they're just annoying. They have so much health, and they just do stupid attacks. You can't interrupt their attacks. So and then when you're in the middle of a combo, you can't dodge. You can't. You're trying to dodge, or you're trying to block with the parry button, and it just won't respond, and then you just get hit. And to me, it's just like, what? How come you just it's like you can't interrupt your attacks to go for a dodge or block, which I don't really like, because I know there's some games where you can um uh interrupt your attack to pull off a perfect parry. But this one just doesn't seem to have that, and I don't know. I just, especially when it's like a regular enemy and it's just they're just kicking your ass, it just gets annoying. Also, too, whenever there's multiple enemies, like I said, there is an ability you get later that kind of like helps you clear out like multiple enemies, and there are some other equipment that you can unlock that helps with that too. But honestly, some of these enemies are just like they're just normal enemies, and they're just too tanky for no reason. They shouldn't be this tanky, especially I guess in each area you go to, they do get stronger, even though you fought them like at the beginning game and they're relatively easy now. So I guess it just depends on the area you're at now. But some of the enemies, bro, like I said, I'm just over them. Um, I've been trying to just avoid the regular combat if I can when I'm exploring and stuff, because because sometimes you do have to defeat them in order to get to like a chest or something. So
Hmm.
a lot of the times, I mean, you have to, but other than that, I guess it's cool. Um, just to put it out there, I am saying some negative things, but the good, to me, like I can see past through these negatives, because it's just such a good game. Like, uh, the environments are real great. Uh, there, there's a mini game which I wouldn't have expected me to enjoy. I'm not really gonna touch on that too much because I know you want to play it, so I'm trying not to say too much. But there is a mini game in there that I do enjoy, and I know I talked about my Final Fantasy uh, 7, mini games that I did not enjoy, but this one I enjoy the ones that it does have. Um, Another thing that I kind of want to touch on negative is when you're underwater. It's like the dive and the ascend buttons are non-existent sometimes, and it's just annoying, bro. Like I'm trying to go underwater and it's not working right. I'm trying to turn around, it's not working right. I'm trying to ascend to the top, and then I get to the top and it's just like stuck and it just won't go up, and it's just like, bro, what is going on with with this movement underwater? Like I get it, you're underwater, but sometimes it just feels so janky. It's wonky. It's not like fine tuned. It's not smooth. It's just very like I was saying, janky. Um, one more thing that kind of got me annoyed is kind of like the side characters are cool, because you're the main character Eve, and then you have a couple of side characters that are with you. Um, One of the ones that's kind of like is in your ear all the time is just annoying, and just you'll be out and about doing your thing, and then he'll call you and he'll be like, whoa, I hope we won't have to go through this again. And I'm like, bro, you're not even here fighting these enemies. Like, shut the fuck up. Like it's just annoying because, uh, like there is a spot where I encountered some enemies, and the guy was like, man, those enemies looked scary, and this and this and that. I'm like, yeah, no shit, bro. I'm over here fighting them, and you're over there behind your screen, like just watching me do this. Like, why are you scared? Like, and it's just kind of annoying. But those are just like some of the small things that I did find a little on the annoying kind of negative side. But like I said, the game, everything else, the exploration in it, I think it's very cool, because there are some spots where you go and you're kind of like wondering, what is this? How come? What was the point of this being here? And later on down the line, as you do more side missions, as you collect more things, later on you're gonna come back to those areas and be like, oh, this was for this quest, and it's kind of cool
Hmm.
how you kind of get rewarded for doing these side quests because you get to unlock more of like side stories. And one thing on the side stories, I really do enjoy the side stories. They're not necessarily like huge side quests, but if you really do like read all of the data that you pick up, you get, to me, I feel like I get some really useful information, and and I've enjoyed reading all the data picking up because it kind of just makes you think, man, especially with how AI is getting more involved now, in the real world. It's kind of like this is kind of you know this is a futuristic game with a whole bunch of AI technology, thrown in there as well. It kind of gets you thinking like, damn, this is pretty interesting because I mean, this could have happened, you know. Um, but other than that, man, I think I'm like maybe like 5, 10 hours, maybe at the most like 10 to 15 hours until I beat the game.
Oh wow.
Um, so I'm already at the final stretch. I think I was just trying to explore every little thing. Like I was telling you, I wanted to continue the main story without doing all the side missions, but the side missions were there calling my name, so I just kept going to do them. And I kind of like the way they did the side missions. Some of the stuff, there's a lot of other things that are a little tedious because you have to be going back and forth sometimes. But if you're patient, if you're someone like me who has a lot of patience, then you'll be able to overlook it and just enjoy the game because it is a really good game. Uh, with all the negatives being in, and I believe what was this like their first main title, their first big game,
Um,
Shift Up.
I'm not sure. I'm sure this is probably like maybe like their first like AAA game. I'm not too sure behind the history of the studio.
Yeah, because I did notice some kind of like inexperience in some aspects in the game. Just kind of like I didn't point it out on Clair Obscure, but I did notice some inexperience with like the character animations when you're like exploring, when you're like trying to platform as well in that game.
Hmm.
It's very that game shouldn't have platforming in it, and there's areas that it does. And this game it really pushes it, but the character mobility is what sets it back. But just give it a couple tries and you'll get through that area. But I know I rambled on about Stellar Blade, but just wanted to throw that out there. I'm having a good time, but like I was
what
saying,
what sorry, what after playing it more and more now and almost being done with it, what would you compare it to? Like from what you've played?
um,
Because I
I
because I
I'm
I always hear the thing of it's Devil May Cry.
yeah, definitely definitely Devil May Cry. Um, but you throw in the Souls like aspect in there, and then the open world.
Okay.
Um, and it's cool, but one minor thing I kind of want to point out too is how in some games where, especially like Souls games, um, you you rest at a spot at your camp or
Hmm.
whatever, you go out and then instead of fighting the enemies, whatever, you're running by them and they start chasing you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, okay, these enemies are chasing me, they're getting annoying. I'm gonna go to a camp and rest to get them off my back, to de-aggro, right? And then you can't even rest at the spot, and they're just there, like in your face, and it's like, bro, like, come on, man. It just stops you from doing anything. It stops you from being able to de-aggro. I thought that was probably like a fail because there are spots where the camp is really near, like really really close to some enemies, um, and you make a mistake by getting too close, and then you're like, no, no, I don't want to fight right now. I'm trying to figure this part out. I'm trying to
Right.
figure out what there's, and then you try to go diaggro and rest of the thing, and it just won't let you. And there you are fighting in your camp, in your little tiny camp, and with a whole bunch of objects in the way, and then you get stuck. Um, Another thing on that too is some of the enemies you can be like, bro, you could be like 50 feet away and they'll spot you and start running at you. And you're like, what, bro? Like, I wasn't even close to you. And sometimes it can get a little annoying. But like I said, I can see what they can improve on their next major game. You know, and I hope they do get the feedback from because this game has been out for uh, a year, over a year now. So came out on PS5 last year, and it
Yeah.
just came out on PC. So I didn't play it on PS5, so I don't know if there's a huge difference in a lot of these mechanics. Um, so I couldn't tell you how it is on PS5, but on PC, there's at least from my experience, there is a lot of things that they can definitely improve on their next game. If they decide to make kind of a similar game or make a part two. I mean, I wouldn't know yet. I haven't beat the game, so we'll see.
Cool, cool. Is that all you've been playing?
Uh, yeah. At the
Oh,
moment,
okay.
just Stellar Blade. I was trying to do Final Fantasy 6, but this game kind of just kept opening up, and I was like, okay, bro, this is gonna take me longer than I expected. So, and me being the way I am, like like how I was saying in one of the last podcasts, was like I do not want to go back and replay games that
Hmm.
I've beaten. So what I've kind of like done to kind of uh like counter any action of me going to replay a game because I didn't do the side quest. I just try to complete all the side quests in my first run. Um, even if there is like multiple like outcomes, you know, I'll just do the one outcome and then just to be happy with that because I don't want to go redo it. But yeah, like I said, I knocked out all the side quests. I think I do have one more, but that one is a little more time consuming. It's kind of based around the mini game that I was talking about, but you'll see when you get there. But yeah, other than that, I just been playing Stellar Blade and just chilling, watching YouTube. So
Cool. Um, I am still looking forward to getting around to it when I can. But for me, this week or last week, I guess, I haven't had much time gaming other than me and you playing Black Ops 6, which we both finally hit 10th Prestige. We are very close to Master Prestige, which is something that I didn't think I would ever see the light of day. And yeah, I mean, we still got a little bit to go, but we'll get there when we get there. There's no rush. I mean, kind of not really no rush. But besides that, though, I'm saying that I haven't had much time gaming. Um, even though I think about it now, I actually have. I've mostly strictly been playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, the one that recently just came out. I don't think I've talked to you about it like at all, other than it's just been fun. So I put Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom on hold right now, and it's not even intentional. I just forgot about it honestly, so I'm gonna have to get back into it sometime. Because I mean, uh, well, I'll just get straight into it. Tony Hawk 3 and 4 remake, or remaster, whatever they want to call it. It's been a lot of fun. I can't express that enough. It's These are the ones that I grew up with. I grew up with 3 and 4, more specifically 4. Um, and it looks good. It plays perfectly fine. I think these levels are a bit more fun than they were on 1 and 2, because I did play 1 and 2, the remake, remaster, whatever, and they were fun, but they just weren't for me just because I didn't grow up with those. I grew up more with these. So I will say the only thing different about this game is I think the levels are out of order. I think they follow it as closely as they can, but then I guess maybe like popular levels, they kind of have them at the very end. Because I was playing, for example, I was playing Tony Hawk 3, um, and there's a level on there that I could have sworn was on Tony Hawk 4, but I don't know. I still have more to look into it, but that's what I mean, for example. So I think specifically for Tony Hawk 3, there's one level maybe that might have been in Tony Hawk 4. I'm not too sure. But other than that, yeah, there are some levels that I know for a fact in Tony Hawk 4. Um, I think the zoo level was the second one in the original game. I think in the remake, it's the last level. So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the main thing that I've noticed. That I think they are a little out of order. Um, I don't remember either, but I think there are some missing challenges compared to the originals, and I think that's granted for Tony Hawk 4, especially because Tony Hawk 3 does have the original at least had the 2 minute time limit, and Tony Hawk 4 is the one that straight away from that they kind of made it like a free roam, but you can also still do like the challenges. Um, so I think that's why there's some missing, especially in Tony Hawk 4. But besides that, though, yeah, like I said, it looks great. It plays fine. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'm using my own create a skater. I'm not using like Tony Hawk or any of the other skaters. I have not used them at all. I've just been using my own, and it does have a lot of replayability from what I noticed because with some of the levels, there are some, like for example, I think when you collect the skate letters, there are some that are kind of out of reach, especially like in the first level or something like that. And maybe I could change my character. I don't know, but I've been doing it with my own character. There's some stuff that has been out of reach where I'll have to just do the other challenges and get stat points and be able to use those stat points to get more air time, or I think it's called hang time. That way you can get more air to be able to reach it. So there's a replayability in that aspect of being able to play other levels, get the stat points, and then go back to the other ones. Because now I'm finding myself going back to the older level or the other levels to complete all the challenges that I can to be able to move on to the next ones. Because the next levels do open up fairly quickly. I think each level, as long as you knock out like 5 challenges, you can get to the next one, which the first 4 are pretty easy to get, which are mostly just getting like a high score, and then the rest just kind of being random things. But I've rambled on long enough about that. I think that this game is really great. I do personally think that it's better than the first and second one. That just might be a biased opinion just because I didn't grow up with those. But definitely a fun game. I think IGN gave it like an 8 out of 10 or something like that. I think it's very deserving, and I can't wait to get back into it to complete the rest of it.
Oh
Um,
yeah, bro. I need to go and play that. Try it out. But I
mhm.
was gonna ask you, you haven't tried to unlock BAM or anything?
Okay, so yeah, about that. It's yeah, I already unlocked him.
Hmm.
It's not hard. And that's the thing is that there are secret skaters, which one of them, well, all of them actually, you just purchase them through the in-game shop, which is not microtransactions or anything like that, but throughout the games you collect cash and you just buy them for cash, which
Oh, okay.
I mean that's cool and all, but I think back then it used to be where like you knock out some challenges and then you unlock them or something like that. But I mean, with me, since I don't really have too much time to play video games, that works out perfectly fine for me. I did see a little bit of controversy on the game where people were not complaining but pointing out that they think it's stupid that the deluxe edition has more things than the actual game itself, which I didn't know this, but in the deluxe edition, of course, you get Doom Guy and the I think the Revenant character from Doom, and that's all I thought it was. But apparently, it's also like more of the soundtrack, which is really weird. I didn't know that at all, and I it makes sense because some of the songs that are in the game, I feel they play a little bit too repetitively, which that's one thing I didn't touch on. The soundtrack, I think the soundtrack is great. I think it's actually better than the last one and two. I always thought that 3 and 4 had like the best soundtrack, but yeah, soundtrack is great, and yeah, I guess that's one thing that the deluxe edition has is more of the soundtrack, which is really weird and a shitty business practice. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm fine with what it has. I'm not gonna spend extra money for that. But
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I already unlocked Bam and the other secret characters. I am missing one, which I don't know how to get. Maybe I just have to progress more in the game or something like that. Because there are some things that you can get to unlock secret items to be able to purchase. So we'll see. We'll see who that character is because I don't even know who it is. But yeah, looking forward to it. I can't wait to go back in and complete the rest of the game. Other than that, though, that's all I've been playing, and I'm not gonna lie, dude. I put a I've thought about this a lot, and I do want to give Death Stranding another try, just because I have a different mindset of gaming now compared to when it first released, and then especially seeing all the positive things that are being said about Death Stranding 2. I would like to be able to give Death Stranding another try sometime soon.
You gonna on PC?
Yeah, either on
First one.
PC or maybe even on console. Just because I mean, I feel like on console, sitting on a couch would probably be the better experience. I think, especially for the gameplay that you do in that game.
Yeah, dude, I'm definitely looking forward to playing Death Stranding. I'll be getting because I have a PS5 right now,
Mm-hmm.
but it has issues. So I do want to trade it in to get a newer one, and so that way I can because I do have Death Stranding one. I think on my I bought it from the store, the online store on PlayStation, and so I know it's gonna take me a while, but realistically, I want to go back and finish Death Stranding one, and then play Death Stranding 2 to kind of just understand what's going on. Even though you're not gonna understand what's going on anyways, because that's just that game. It's you don't know what's going on in any of his games. But yeah, dude, that's I'm glad that you wanna try that out again because it's really something. It's you kind of gotta like for me knowing what Death Stranding 1 is, you it's just best to go on there to as an for an experience, not for really a really like crazy game.
Mm-hmm.
None of these hack and slash games, none of these like. It's just you just got to do it for the experience and say that you've experienced Death Stranding because. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
first one was crazy, dude. I never thought I'd like it that much for it being just a walking simulator.
Right.
It's much more than that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I played the first one. I got up to like chapter 5, I think, or something like that. So, and I remember when I left off, it was picking up. So I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't know why I stopped playing it, but yeah, hopefully I'll get to it sometime soon. We're gonna move on to the gaming news. The first one we're gonna go ahead and talk about Ghost of Yotei that had a state of play of its own. I'm gonna let you talk about this one a little bit more, just because I was kind of in and out of it. Not that I didn't care or anything like that, but I tried to avoid it just because I haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, and I know that this doesn't really have much to do with that game or anything like that. But there is some similar gameplay aspects of it, and there's also the world for it. So I'm gonna let you kind of take it away from here.
yeah. So, um, personally, I am super excited for Ghost of Yotei because Ghost of Tsushima is one of my favorite games I played on the PlayStation. Um, I didn't think I was gonna enjoy Ghost of Tsushima that much because I think I played the beginning of the game, and then put it down, um, and then didn't come back to it till later, and that's when I finally got into it. But um, I'm very excited because I mean it looks just as good, if not better, than the first game. For the graphics wise, the the environment. Uh, the one things I did notice that they did change is instead of having for like the combat wise, instead of having different stances, because like in Ghost of Tsushima, you had I think it was a wind stance. Um, I forgot the names of the stances, but you would go like in a different stance to be able to fight certain type of enemies. It was easier to to take these enemies down in those stances,
Hmm.
and all you could really do with your weapon was kind of just customize the color,
Okay.
like the hilts and all that stuff. Um, and then but on this game they've introduced different weapons, and which kind of replace the stances. So with your regular katana, you I guess you be going against I guess regular enemies. Um, you have a spear, which damn it, I can't really remember which enemies that it was good for, but it's good for a specific enemy. And then you have a like a double, you have double swords. I forgot the names of them, and those are pretty good. First, like I said, a specific enemy. I can't remember which enemy exactly. The only one that I do remember is you do bring out It's like a katana. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the names, but it's like it looks like a samurai sword, but it's like super super long, like huge. And in the state of play, they were saying how when the that weapon is going to be real good for like the brutes, the real big enemies, and it's just gonna fucking take them down. So I thought that was cool. Instead of just having you know just one weapon throughout the whole game, you're gonna
Mhm.
and then having the stances, you're gonna have a different weapon that you can go through. I'm pretty sure you're gonna be able to uh, customize the aesthetics of those weapons. So I thought that was really cool. They didn't show all of the kind of like open world aspects. All of the different side of activities that you can do, like they did in Ghost of Tsushima. But I really enjoyed those exploration challenges in the first game, and I just can't wait, bro. I just can't wait to see what you know the new stuff that they added to the exploration, and I can't wait to see this world because the first one I had my jaw dropped the whole time, when I was especially the intro. If this game does the same thing, bro, it's gonna be probably right there with Clair Obscure.
Yeah, I think the one thing that, not that I was worried about for this game, um, but when they first announced it, I at first saw it as like not. I didn't see it as like a standalone game. I saw it more of like, I'm trying to think of a good example. With, for example, with Spider-Man, they came out with Miles Morales. I thought it was going to be kind of like a small side story. I didn't think it was going to be like it's like a big scale game like how Ghost of Tsushima was. But then it's getting all this attention, and I mean, from what I've seen, like here and there, it does look a bit more like it's adding a lot more compared to Tsushima. It's still kind of relatively the same, but at least from what I've seen, yeah, it looks like it is adding a little bit more. Because it also does take place, I think what, hundreds of years after Tsushima or something like that.
Yeah,
Okay, and does it still take place like in the same area or world? I guess you could say.
I don't know.
Okay,
I forgot if they did say where it takes it. I think it's. See, I couldn't tell you. I forgot.
okay, so but other than that, yeah, no, like it does look good. Especially like I said, from what I've seen, graphics do look good. I hope that it actually does take advantage of the PS5 Pro. That way, people who have a PS5 Pro get their money's worth. And then speaking of that, they also had the special editions for the PS5. I think for both digital and for the disc one, or is it for the disc and also the PS5 Pro? But
Uh,
they do look cool. I'm glad that they are still doing like it, what do you call it, limited edition consoles. But
yeah.
besides,
So my
sorry, go
bad.
ahead.
Uh, Kind of like the location. I mean, it's around Mount Yotei, so
Oh, okay, that's why it's
it's
called.
yeah, yeah. That's why I was smiling when I looked it up. I was like, oh yeah, no
That's
shit.
funny.
It's in the name. Um, One thing I did want to say about the console, the special editions, is I just saw something right now
Hmm.
that the OG PlayStation 5 owners, like the original PlayStation 5, are feeling left out because they're not making like special editions, or they're not making even the covers for the original PS5s anymore. So a lot of the original PS5 owners are upset because they're coming out with these two special editions, and it's like, how come they couldn't? But at the same time, it's like, why would you want an old like
Yeah,
console?
yeah,
But
and I mean they do the same thing though. They done the same thing for PS3, and or I don't think PS3 had that many, but PS4 especially. Once they moved on from the base one, they went over to the Pro or the Slim model, and yeah, I mean they just started doing, because even the base PS4 had some limited edition ones, but then they moved on, of course, to the PS4 Pro and Slim edition. So I see it the same as that, but I totally get it. I think PS5, like base PS5s, they still can swap out the plates to different colors, something like that. And I think even PS5, the base PS5s do have like their own limited edition one. I know that, for example, the Spider-Man one has one, so that one looks
Y-
pretty cool. But I get
Yeah,
it.
but I don't think they're gonna be making any more.
Oh,
Like
okay,
say
okay,
like if they want something specific, like maybe like go Ghost of Yotei or something,
yeah,
that they're not making them. So place original owners are just like, what the hell would a like the fuck? I don't want to buy a new system, But I'm like, all right,
yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. I mean, look, when does it? It comes out in October, right?
yeah,
Okay. Well, I guess that's something that you and other PlayStation owners can look forward to in October for sure. It's like early
oh yeah,
October, right? It's like,
October 2nd.
oh wow, okay. So very early October. Cool. Next up, we have Nintendo filed a copyright notice for an untitled Donkey Kong movie. I don't have much to say other than I think, obviously this kind of confirms that we probably would get a Donkey Kong movie, which I think Donkey Kong could have a little bit more love. They got the game coming out this week or maybe next week, one of those, and a movie I think would probably really popularize the franchise for sure. And then on top of that, with Donkey Kong already being in the Super Mario movie, they had like a whole section or like a whole area for him specifically. So I think they can for sure go off more of where he was. I forget what it was called, but that planet or that world of his, they can definitely for sure do more with it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, are you ready for that game? It comes out on the 17th.
Oh, and the seventh. Oh shit! So that's wow. That's very soon.
Yeah.
I don't think right now, but I mean, yeah. I mean, that's definitely going to be one of the first new Nintendo Switch 2 games that I'm going to get.
Yeah, dude, if I had Nintendo Switch 2, I'd be all over that.
Hmm.
Definitely something that I would love to play, if I ever get my hands on a Switch 2 at least.
Yeah, but yeah, that's kind of really it for the movie itself. I mean, it's just something that they copyrighted. So I mean, who knows? Maybe it could just be just for the sake of copywriting it, or there probably will be a movie. The next thing is kind of a little small thing, but apparently the Smash Bros. And the Donkey Kong 64 game may be coming to the Nintendo Switch online service for the Nintendo 64. Uh, I don't know how people see this kind of stuff, but I don't know if you saw this either or not. But I guess I don't know, somebody in Nintendo was showing something off. They blurred out the background of it, and people were able to make out like the box art for Nintendo or for the Smash Bros. Game, and I think also the Donkey Kong 64 game. So there's that. That's kind of really what people are going off of. And like I said, I don't know how the hell people notice this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I saw that, and me neither, bro. These guys are dedicated for that's what they live off of. That's how they make a
Mhm.
living, man. Is finding leaks and sharing it, and if they're right, man, then they're 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 down. They're known to be very credible, and that's how
Mhm.
a lot of people believe these guys, and I give them a lot of props because the time it takes to do stuff like that, it's crazy.
um, So the next one is for Destiny 2. We have the DLC that released, Edge of Fate, that actually came out today.
Yeah,
I didn't see that until I got on right now a bit ago and saw that I had an update, and it was a very large one. And on top of that, I kind of saw little things here and there of people talking about it on Twitter. I don't really have much to say on it other than I, of course, bought it a while back already when we were kind of going through our Destiny craze. Um, and I haven't seen much of it. A lot of it just due to the fact that, not that I don't have hope for it or anything like that, but the expansions themselves, they come out strong for the first couple of weeks, and then it just kind of goes back to what it was. So I'm hoping that this is different. I mean, it's supposed to be game changing different. But we'll see how that actually goes. I mean, shit, I'll let you know, dude, how it goes because I'm gonna be playing that hopefully sometime this week. Um, but yeah, like I said, it's supposed to be game changing considering the fact that this is like the new saga or whatever you want to call it. Because they, for like the last like 10 years, they've been doing the light and darkness thing. So we'll see how this one goes. I don't even know what it's about, other than I guess maybe like multiverse or some shit like that. We'll see. Next up, this one was a pretty big one that I thought was, I mean, it made sense, but it was also pretty crazy to still kind of get, I guess confirmation, but also rumors about it, is that that Xbox handheld that was shown off, it's going to be ranging on the price range of $700 to $1,000. I'm not sure if you saw it, but
Yeah.
um, I didn't look too much into it. Other than I guess I know that there are like two versions of it. Obviously, I'm assuming like the base version being 700, and then I'm assuming the Xbox One that is actually like the Xbox handheld is going to be $1,000 or some shit like that. And I'm going to go on a limb and say that this is the one that was shown off that one presentation, correct? Um, but yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like right now. $700 to $1,000. I don't know if you're gonna be dropping that price on it or not, but I will probably hold out on it for sure. I don't know. Like I said, are you gonna plan to get it at all?
I mean, in the perfect world, I would like to. Um, basically, there's two of them, right? It's ROG Xbox Ally and then the Xbox Ally X. So the X has 24 gigabytes of memory compared to the 16 gigabytes, and then it has 1 terabyte of storage compared to 512. So it's just a souped up. It's just like a Pro, you know. Um, and for $1,000, for a handheld, I know I said I wanted to get it, but when I did say that, I said it out of excitement.
Mm-hmm.
Um, realistically, dude, I'm not spending $1,000 for a handheld. I'd rather put that money towards a new GPU or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Because that is just way too much money um, to be spending on something that it's gonna be a hit or miss,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not an Xbox, a full Xbox console, which you know all these consoles that's come out recently. The Xbox One X and then the PS5, PS5 Pro, or whatever. I mean, they're straight up just full consoles. You're gonna get what you pay for out of it and more. In a handheld, there's just there's so much, like with the Switch 2, it's like it's Nintendo, right? So you're playing Nintendo first party games and you're playing some third party stuff on there as well, but you know what you're getting when you're buying a Nintendo
Mm-hmm.
Switch. It's basically a souped up Switch One, and in all the right places. But for a brand new, and I know they have these. I know how they have um these handhelds out already for crazy prices, but for this Xbox One to be $1,000, man, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they could do that could justify that price. Um, hey, give me a quick second. I need to change the lighting in here. I'm gonna pause this, so we'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that. I had to turn on the light. Um, so
All good, man. All good.
the next part or the last piece of gaming news is for Black Ops 7. I think this was already confirmed, but we're gonna get our first look at Black Ops 7 on at Gamescom, which I believe is like middle of August. We're already in the middle of the month, so a month from now. Um, I know we say this a lot, maybe not on here, but to each other, is that like, yeah, like Call of Duty is that one game where you can take a break for quite a while, come back, and you'll have the time of your life. And then maybe after like a couple of weeks, you just kind of get out of it. And I mean, I think the same could be said for any other game too. Um, but the reason why I say that is because Black Ops 7, it's supposed to be a continuation, of course, from Black Ops 6, but it's also going to be like more set a little bit after Black Ops 2. So like that's the only thing I'm looking forward to for Black Ops 7 is kind of revisiting that world and era. And I'm hoping to see what new things they add to multiplayer, just because of that leak that happened a couple of weeks ago where they like shared some pictures on the multiplayer menu or something like that. Um, I'm really looking forward to it being a lot like Black Ops 2, because we've already been told that if we enjoyed Black Ops 2, we'll enjoy this one. So that's kind of really all I want to say about Black Ops 7.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'd like to actually see more of the Black Ops 2 maps,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I know that there's I know we got firing range, I know we got some stupid version of hijacked, uh, the small atrocity
Hmm.
that map is. Um, I mean, it's cool, I guess, but I really want to see I forgot the name of the map, but that one map that has that they made an edit of it recently with the car going around
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
circle.
Raid.
Yeah, dude, that was one of my favorite maps.
Hmm.
In Black
Yeah,
Ops 2.
the cool thing about the Black Ops 2 is that, well, the maps in Black Ops 2 is that they have been brought over to recent CODs. I think, for example, Cold War, they brought over. I think one of them was Raid. One of them was Raid, and then the other one was Standoff, I believe. So yeah,
Hmm.
there's been other adaptations of like the classic maps in prior CODs. So, but I mean, yeah, it would be really cool to still see those.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I didn't play Cold War, so I
Yeah,
wouldn't know.
yeah. But
But yeah, man.
Gamescom, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, you're good. I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, what are we looking forward to? Are we gonna be looking at just is it gonna be
Uh,
gameplay, multiplayer
that's the
gameplay?
thing. That's the thing. I don't know. I think it was literally just described as that. First look at Black Ops 7.
Okay,
I would assume I would
gameplay.
assume that, yeah, like gameplay spanning across the campaign. I'm pretty sure they're probably going to focus a little bit on the campaign, like a
Mm-hmm.
majority of the campaign, and then kind of like have like a quick, like, I don't know, 2 minute section, or maybe just like a multiplayer trailer, and then like on the trailer it'll probably say look forward to this next month or in a couple of weeks or something like that.
For a full multiplayer review.
Yeah,
I've
for a
because
full
I
multiplayer.
Yeah, I've noticed if they've done a campaign review trailer, and then they do a multiplayer review trailer later on,
Hmm.
gameplay trailer. So yeah, man, I can't wait to see what that's gonna look like.
Yeah, I hope that it brings us back to the old days, how it used to be. But we'll
Can only
see.
wish, bro.
Yeah. So that's it for gaming news. A little bit light. I just feel like there wasn't really much that happened. But we just pointed out the things that did catch our interest. So next thing we're gonna go on to is some game adaptations that we would like to see, whether it be a TV show, a movie, merchandise. I don't know, whatever the case is. I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. All right. So basically, mine is a little bit, I want to say, out there because I probably have the least experience in this franchise to ask for like a movie or like a TV show or something like that. But it'd be cool to see like something Final Fantasy.
Hmm.
And I know a lot of like the hardcore Final Fantasy gamers, players or whatever. I mean, I would assume that they wouldn't want this. Now there was back in the day, bro. I think in 2001 they did. I had it pulled up here. There
Yeah.
was a Final Fantasy movie, but
Mhm.
it was
Well, and then
it
there was also like an animated. I don't know if that's the one you're talking about. There was like an animated movie for Final Fantasy
yeah,
VII. Yeah, I think it's called like Advent Children or something like that.
oh, okay, okay, okay. No, I was
Yeah.
talking about this other one. It's called Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
it was a full length movie. It was made by the creator of Final Fantasy, but said that, they said that it has nothing to do with the games. This is its own thing. It's not canon.
Okay.
None of what happened in this game is it just adapts the name.
Hmm.
Um, but I think it'd be cool to have like like a long standing series, or that's why I asked you earlier if you watch the Game of Thrones. I've never watched the Game of Thrones, but judging that it's like that's like a fantasy type thing, I think it'd be
Right.
real cool if they had like a Final Fantasy thing with the Final Fantasy lore, with the summons like Titan and Shiva and all that stuff, and then of course all the magic and the different abilities you can get in the game. I
Hmm.
think that would be really cool to see live action. Um, of course they wouldn't be able to do if it's a TV show, they wouldn't be able to do a lot
Yeah,
because a lot of it would have to be like CGI, especially for the boss fights and or whatever
yeah,
the case may be. So I think a a movie will be cool. But then again, it's kind of tough on that one because I feel like if it, if it goes horribly wrong, then for Final Fantasy, they're gonna get a lot of hate from the hardcore gamers, and it won't go well for them. So for that one, it's a little like, it's kind of like an iffy thing that I would like to see because it could go really well, or it could just go horribly wrong. So,
yeah,
but it'd be cool to see Final Fantasy on the big screen.
yeah. I think so. I mean, there's a lot of source material that they can pull from. I mean, they have
Hmm.
10 plus, 20 plus maybe games, so
Yeah,
there's a lot of source material to pull from there. Was that the only one that you had?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, no, I like I said, I think a TV series would really be beneficial for that. Maybe a movie here and there too, but yeah, a TV series would be really beneficial. Like I said, especially with multiple games that they have, each season could be from different adaptations of video games, that kind of thing too. Um, cool choice. I have I have three actually. So the first one I think would be very cool is I'm debating if this would work out better as a movie or as a TV show. It can go either or, but I think Astrobot would be a pretty good. And I'm gonna say I think more of a TV show. I think an Astrobot TV show would be really cool. Whether it be animated or, well, I don't know how it would be live action because you still gotta still gotta put in other PlayStation characters in there, but it'd be pretty cool. I think Astrobot TV show would probably work better just because I know you haven't played it, but there's levels to level that you go to, so each episode could be like another level, that kind of thing. um, and then I think for a movie, it would be really cool too, just because it can really play out a certain level. Because there are boss fights in the games and that kind of stuff. So they could potentially come out with sequels, that kind of thing. So I think that's one of them that would be really cool as an adaptation. The next one for me would be a God of War movie. And I specifically say movie because there's still apparently a TV show that's coming out from Amazon, which I don't remember the last update that we ever heard from that, other than the fact that it's an Amazon series. Which I think God of War itself is deserving of its own movie. Um, I I don't. This is just a nitpick of mine, but I don't like when like big things get TV shows because I know how things play out and stuff like that, and it a lot of the time I always say to myself like, dude, this should be a movie rather than a TV show. But I get it too. Just to consistently have like concurrent viewers and that kind of stuff. But a movie, whether it can be of either or, it can be of the Greek saga or the Norse mythology. I think with recency bias, I think the Norse mythology would work really well. Just because I personally think the Norse mythology is a lot more cooler than the Greek mythology. I might get some hate for that, but that's just me. I think the Norse mythology was a lot more grounded, a lot more realistic in a sense, compared to the Greek mythology, which was kind of really just hack and slash, but it also still did have a story. But I think the Norse mythology did put a lot more emphasis on the story itself. So I think a movie could really be beneficial for that. The over the top boss fights, the over the top character development, that kind of thing. So I think a movie would be really cool for God of War. And then my last one that I didn't write it down, but I think this franchise could really benefit from a TV series, that being Metal Gear Solid. Just because I know that there are a ton of like self-contained stories in the games themselves. The game that's all about stealth. I feel like an episode could really drag on that. Like, trying to plan on how to do certain things stealth wise. I feel like a TV episode would really prolong that and kind of make it a lot more interesting and suspenseful, that kind of thing. And of course, there's a span of games that they can go off of as well. But I think they would for sure probably would like to start with Metal Gear Solid 1, just to kind of get everybody introduced to it. Because, I mean, yeah, Snake is a really well known character, to a lot of the gaming community. But, there's also people that don't know a lot of it, especially myself. I don't know too much of it. So I think a TV series would kind of really hook me in to be able to get to play the games more and know a little bit more of the story. But those are my three.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you had three of them.
Yeah, no,
but
I.
but as you were saying, I was kind of thinking, uh, if there's any more that would pop in my head, and one of them was Metal Gear. Uh, so you kind of,
Cool.
we both have that same interest in seeing, an adaptation of that game because,
Hmm.
like I know that they were talking about Splinter Cell. I think what was it, an anime or
I think it was like an animated TV show.
that they kind of like were talking about around the same time Devil May Cry I saw,
Hmm.
but don't know what happened to that or if that's still a thing. But that's a Metal Gear movie, or TV show, whatever the case may be. I mean that'd be dope because, um, I mean it's a well respected franchise, and who wouldn't want to see a life like you know Metal Gear story on the screen.
Hmm.
Another one that that they've already made a movie about, and I personally enjoyed it. It got a lot of hate, because it's gonna be Assassin's Creed. Um,
Forgot
that
about
movie,
that.
yeah, that movie that came out, a lot of people did not like it, because it was honestly, I liked it. Whatever, you can hate me, whatever, but I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was cool. I understand why a lot of people didn't like it. They wanted more of the Assassin's Creed instead of all the extra BS that they put in there. But that the guy who played the assassin, he's probably one of my favorite actors. He's a very good actor. I don't know if you remember who he is.
Yeah,
He's
Michael Fassbender, I think.
Yeah. Um, I would like to see them try again. Um, and kind of just go more into the roots of Assassin's Creed. Maybe a Black Flag, a pirate type of vibe going on. That I mean, everybody loves pirate movies, right? um, or maybe just anything Assassin's Creed, man, because I really had high hopes for this movie, and like I said, I do enjoy it. I did enjoy that movie, um, but I can see why a lot of people didn't like it because they wanted more of the Assassin's Creed, which a lot of it was Animus and him training in that machine. I think one gripe was that the Animus that he was, that they're in, he was actually like moving, and I thought that was real cool, you know. Um, but that's just me. But like I said, I want them to try again, so maybe they can get it
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. There's a lot of video game adaptations that I honestly forgot existed. One of them being Assassin's Creed, and
Hmm.
kind of going off topic here, but also speaking of forgetting video game adaptations, I forgot that they made a Tomb Raider movie like a decade ago, maybe.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I remember being interested because that was the time when I got really interested in the Tomb Raider franchise with the reboot of it and whatever. But yeah, there's just a lot of potential for video games to be adapted into either TV or movies. I think, like I said, my dream one would for sure be the one that I mentioned, which would be a God of War movie. Because I mean, you know how it is, man. It's deserving of its own movie. I think the
What
choices that we came up with were pretty good.
with The Rock as Kratos?
Oh yeah, yeah,
nah,
yeah.
nah, but yeah, dude, the God of War. Of course, that's something that I've seen a lot. A lot of who would be Kratos, um, and I think it's just interesting because you see people who would fit the role, but at the same time, it just looks weird. They have to get somebody that is not like this famous celebrity. I feel
Mm,
like a good you know cast for Kratos would be somebody who just fits that kind of the way Kratos is in the game. Just
right.
super, super like serious, like a grunt personality, like just straight up
Hmm.
like a beast. And some of these celebrities I've seen people cast them as, I just can't see them being
It's
Kratos.
a lot of the fan casting is just people who resemble appearance
Yeah,
wise,
yeah,
um, and it's people that just have like the beard, and it's like really.
yeah,
um, but I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, somebody that can resemble his, I guess, attitude and mannerism, that kind of stuff, it goes a long
mhm.
way. I think we've had enough of one to one. What's the word? Replications of characters. I think it's time to kind of really focus in on people who one know the video game, know the source material, um, and can just knock it out of the park. Because I mean, yeah, there's also been a good amount of video game adaptations that just have people who don't know the source material, not only the actors themselves, but like the directors themselves. I think, for example, Yakuza. I don't know if you remember, but that actually has a TV show, and I remember seeing that nobody on set like had any idea about the Yakuza games or anything like that. So
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
yeah, so and that's probably why we haven't heard from it because it probably wasn't that great. I don't know, maybe it was, but I just remember seeing that. But yeah, that's our those are our games that we would like to see as adaptations of TV shows or movies, live action or animation. Um, Let us know what you think. This is going to be the end of the episode here. Where could everybody find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, deathface underscore. You can check out our YouTube, chilling with death. We'll be uploading this video here, in the next day or so. Um, then you can also find me on Twitch, Lord Leprosy, and yeah, that's about it.
You can find me Instagram, Damien Chillin, our podcast Instagram, Chillin with Death, where that's kind of where we'll post updates, that kind of stuff, especially when it comes to like posting episodes. So stay tuned for that, where we also post shorts, that kind of thing too. And then yeah, also our YouTube, Chilling with Death. Make sure to follow us, like, leave a comment, whatever. We'd like to see what y'all think of it. If y'all have any questions, either or we'll be able to see it on Instagram or YouTube. But thanks everybody for listening, especially listening towards the very end. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace out, guys.
Later, y'all.